What's up, interesting soul? Straight out of Africa with lots of good vibes and crazy videos. I am White311H. Welcome on our show of Today Good Vibes Soul. It's a pleasure to have you aboard. On today's episode, Wonderful Creature of God, we shall be going through some extremely mind-blowing, mysterious, crazy, which are the vocabulary good vibes videos we read, and all these videos we shall be going them through them to spread love, peace, honesty, and forgiveness to the whole world. So interesting. So hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on our mission. I hope you have understood. Yes, love, peace, honesty, and forgiveness. That's the message here. And now, interesting. So, to spread that message to all things on this world, we have to be guided by the creator of all those earthlings. It's why interesting. So, we read from the book of wisdom to try and get a bit of understanding about the creator of the earthlings. And shortly after that, we give thanks to that creator. Now, interesting. So, this is what the Good Vibes Book of Wisdom tells us. These ones are words of wisdom from some good vibes guy called David. This is what he said in Psalm 77. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will meditate on all your works and consider all your mighty deeds. Your ways, O God, are holy. What God is so great as our God? You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the peoples. With your mighty arm, you redeemed your people, the descendants of Jacob and Joseph. Interesting. I've said this from Psalm 77:11 going down. Now let's talk with our Creator before we dive in. Wonderful, mighty Creator of heaven and earth, dear Lord Father. We are really thankful, dear Lord, for this chance to be alive. For this chance, Father, to be joined together with your child here. Today's viewer, all glory and honor, Father, belong unto you, King of Kings. There are videos that we have today, Father, which we intend on spreading love and peace by reacting to them. Guide us all through, dear Lord, and fill us with your spirit, dear Lord. May you not depart from us, Father, and forgive us all our sins. Dear Lord, as you have heard from the book of wisdom, Father, that you perform miracle deeds, Father. May you do miraculous deeds in this viewer's life before we reach the end. In your holy name, Jesus, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good vibes. So much love.
Against all odds, you're going to make it. Against all odds, it's going to happen for you. God is going to do it. It may seem like it's impossible, like it can't happen, like you can't get to that next level. It may seem like you can't get further. But God is saying, against all odds, it will happen. You will get to your destination, whatever the case may be. Apply this to your situation. Against all odds, it's going to work out. All right, let's read some scripture, y'all. Romans 4, verse 18. Against all hope, Abraham in hope believed, and so became the father of many nations. Just as it had been said to him, so shall your offspring be. Without weakening in his faith, he faced the fact that his body was as good as dead, since he was about 100 years old, and that Sarah's womb was also dead. Yet he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God, but was strengthened in his faith and gave glory to God. Okay? Against all odds.
Something doesn't feel right about these 40 monkeys escaping the biolab. I feel like we're not being told something. It's at the Alpha Genesis Primate Research Center, Yamasi, and I feel like this is the start of some kind of science fiction movie or something bad, like some kind of, I don't know. They won't even tell us what kind of monkeys they are. They just say there's 40. I'm surprised there's not 41 or 42 or 39. There's 40 exactly. But doesn't it feel like the start of something like 28 Days Later or 12 Monkeys or maybe even that movie from 1995, Outbreak? I don't know, because they're from a biolab. So are they healthy, happy monkeys? Or is it going to turn into some kind of sci-fi future with it being a little bit like Outbreak? Maybe it's a good time to go back and watch this movie. Here's the synopsis. Let's hope this doesn't happen. Worst case, guys. Let's hope they catch those monkeys and everything's good. Peace.
How to handle someone who's yelling at you. When tensions rise, emotions get heated, and voices start to increase in volume, there are some techniques that I'm going to share that will help you to hope bring the levels down. Remember, this doesn't work in every situation or with all people. By the way, I do videos on communication so that you can improve. If you want to learn more, follow along. Number one, stop talking and look the other person in the eye. When someone is yelling, you yelling back will not solve the problem or make it better. So stop. Look the other person in the eye and give them your attention. Number two, you want to interrupt what they're doing. So a nonverbal, put your hand up, or I need to stop you for 1 moment. You need to pause what they're saying. And number three, you're going to say something like, I want to hear and understand what you're saying, but I need you to lower your voice. This shows empathy, but at the same time communicates your boundary for how you are going to be spoken to. Give it a try.
There is a saying, if you give a man enough rope, he will hang himself. And I would like to explore this a little bit further. I'm Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I'm talking about the art of projection. A person will really tell you about who they are and what their character is really like if you just are quiet and you listen, meaning that they will usually tell them themselves their character and their intentions with you if you are quiet. And so a lot of times that comes out through projections. And so what do I mean by projections? Usually people think that you think and behave like them in a lot of scenarios. And so how this may come across is through statements or accusations. For example, if you're in a relationship and where you feel like you and your partner are monogamous, if your partner is not monogamous and you don't know anything about that, that may come across as your partner suddenly becoming paranoid about you cheating or accusing you of cheating. So even though there's no evidence of that. And so essentially what that means is they're basically telling on themselves through their accusations of you, because they think that all people sort of move the same way they move or have the same ill intentions or the same poor character as they do. So if you want to find out who someone really is and how they really think and what they think about their relationships with you, be quiet and you might hear a whole lot, because silence can be golden.
Yo, what's up with that G we just saw? Crazy, my friends. But not as crazy as this. There's a space below these pillars that are apparently holding this building. How is this possible? What is the space for? For contraction and expansion, or what's up? You guys, people builders that know about these things, please tell us in the comment section. Look at these drawings and the carvings on these pillars. This is crazy. Man, what even surprises me most is how intact some of these buildings still are up to now. You see, considering the time they were built is crazy, my friends. Still good vibes. They look like the only thing missing is some paint job. This is crazy. Look at this. This one was carved on some stone hill. I can't believe this. Hmm. God, my God. And in other places, I don't know these places where it is, but looks like another place that, if you know, you can tell us. This what looks like a giant wheel here, or a giant doorway with the crazy
Since when do
looking.
drones shapeshift while they're flying? I ain't never seen a drone do this, y'all. That's definitely a UFO. Not saying it wasn't man-made. It's just something we've never seen before. That's insane. It definitely is not a bird. Let me know what y'all think what it could be. I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is insane. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments and stay weird, y'all.
Now, according to the CIA, we reincarnate over and over and over again, and that is weird and goes against most of what we were taught as kids. Now, if you look at ancient texts, books they took out of the Bible, or even reading the Bible with the right frame of mind, reincarnation is clearly what happens. There's not really much arguing it. In fact, if you don't live in America, it might be a very common belief. 2 billion people in this world firmly believe in reincarnation. That's about a quarter. You know, Buddhists, Taoists, Hindus, some versions of Christianity, and many other religions all practice and believe this at their core. It is only a weird fringe science belief if you're in the Western world. Now, you guys should know me by now. I'm going to get extremely lit, remove all of my filters, and then talk about this from the heart. Now, this is something I firmly believe in. My dad's friend went to Europe. You know, they went to Europe, and this dude knew the layout of a castle. They get there, and he goes, yo, I have a funny feeling. I've been here before. I lived here. And my dad's like, dude, you grew up in the same neighborhood as me. What the hell are you talking about? And this dude goes, no, I know this place. And proceeded to tour them around. We're going to pass 3 rooms, and then there's going to be stairs down to a dungeon or a cellar or something. You know, they all went to this place for the very first time together. Tripped the dude out. He didn't believe in that kind of stuff before, but he definitely did after. He always called me an old soul. A lot of people called me that, but I think I was just smart for my age. And it's only weird if you don't look into the topic further. A lot of people have been through this. This lady was born and started telling her parents she wanted to go home. She's from Egypt. You know, she believed this since a little kid. And they went to Egypt, and she started telling archaeologists where to dig. And one of them actually did it. One of them actually dug where she said to. And they started finding exactly what she said. You know, different little trinkets and stuff like that. It was nothing big, but that's crazy. She said, I used to live here. My stuff is buried right here. And they found it. She made significant contributions. That is crazy. You know, I used to believe in none of this stuff until my business mentor at the time said, try the gateway tapes. They did a lot of good for me. And I tried the gateway tapes. And these are, you know, sanctioned by the CIA. They were obsessed with this stuff. It plays frequencies in your ears that heavily manipulate your brainwaves. It's supposed to give you an out-of-body experience, and for a while I didn't get one, and then boom, I got slapped in the face with knowledge. I got absolutely donkey slapped in the face by knowledge. I just talked to one of my old friends and told him about Gateway, and I had to warn him, like, keep yourself based in reality, because if anything can make you go crazy, it would be something like Gateway. I went in there and things started talking to me like balls of energy. It's an out of body experience. That's what people experience in this kind of thing. It's all the same. And they started telling me I had lived tons of lives before. They even showed me some of them, which sent me for a mind trip. But they told me how the world works, all these things, and it just made sense. And I don't know how else to word it. I came out of that feeling like I was crazy for what I saw, but what I heard made total sense. In fact, they told me that I was done. I had already figured out what I needed to figure out on the earth, and I had opened my spot up for a new soul to join. They word it like there's just souls in the universe waiting for a human body. It's like a fun experience. It's like a playground. And I was like, hey, this is not fun. And they said, what if you knew everything that was going to happen all the time? Would you enjoy your life truly? And I was thinking, no, of course not. And then they said further, you go through these pains and struggles and happinesses. It's a roller coaster of emotion, of physical sensation. That's what it's supposed to be. You're going to come out and you're going to want to go back in. You're going to sit there and go, that was absolutely crazy. Let's do it again. But they told me I had already done it tons of times and I'd figured out what I needed to figure out, and I hadn't been here in a long time. And they told me also that they don't experience time in that way, but they spoke to me in a way that I understood it. Now, they told me I'm coming back with a group. Like, it sounds crazy, but just hear me out. It said I'm coming back with a group. I am meant, my purpose is to share this knowledge that they just taught me with everybody else around me, and that all of these people would just have these urges to make themselves known in what they're doing. So a basic recap of it is it slapped me in the face with information. It told me things that would happen to me that did, in order of how it said they would happen over the course of a few months, which, I didn't believe it until that happened. And like I said, it slapped me in the face with knowledge that for some reason just made a lot of sense, and it still does. I don't even plan half these videos when I talk about this stuff. I just start talking. All that info just comes from within, and doing the Gateway tapes, like, opened a new part of my brain. It feels different. I can't word it well. And you can do the Gateway tapes too. They're all over YouTube and Spotify. You got to look around a little bit, plug some headphones in, find a nice comfy area, and start listening. Now, the only part that didn't sit right with me for some reason, and I'll explain why in a second, was it saying I came here with a group to help, and that we all had our own purposes, and we would all start to understand this around the same time period and make ourselves known at the same time. Not like we had to work together. We're just all doing the same kind of thing at the same time. It wouldn't tell me what that higher purpose was. I asked. It said I literally cannot know because I would ruin it. I would talk about it and I would ruin it. Something along those lines. And that is odd. That never sat super great with me. I'm okay with it. I would love to do good in the world in any way I can. But that was weird. Now, it basically explained to me that we're souls, that live in a spiritual body. We can't really touch or feel things in the same way that we can in a physical body. And we came here to be in physical bodies and to learn things, to advance ourselves. Said there's no way to actually do wrong. Everything is an opportunity for growth. And any of those that you hurt, basically, for lack of a better word, in your lifetime will have higher successes in their next because of what you did. It's a give and a take. If you give a ton, you're going to have a really good one where other people will give to you in your next life. If you take a ton, you will have a shitty time until you start to learn what's really important. Money's not really important at the end of the day. A lot of things aren't. It's just about helping other people and, being good. And it basically told me that there's always souls coming and going. As soon as one finishes all of the lessons that they came here to learn, they leave and they open up a spot for a new soul. It said, there's souls on their 1000th incarnation, and there's souls on their first all around you. And it then said, because I had finished mine and had a chance to come back, I was really, really lucky, and, they chose me for a good reason, and I would do what I needed to do. I've always wanted to help people since I was a little kid. Just help. Like, I'm going to open a soup kitchen when I have enough money to do that and not be completely broke. But I've always been more attracted to being a good person, even when people aren't looking. That's always been important to me. I'm also autistic, and autistic people are known for having a very strict sense of justice. You know, in a lot of areas, I'll feel bad about doing something that I don't think others would because they wouldn't even see it as a bad thing. So I think that might just be the way my brain's wired. Now, if you want to learn about this kind of stuff, you can always do past life regression hypnosis. I know a lady who does it, and she's going to do it for me next week. I am pretty excited about it. I've been really afraid of openly giving my mind up to somebody, but I have a good feeling about it. It looks like Kendrick did that and then just wrote that song Reincarnated, which is one of the deeper songs I've heard in the last 5 years. I think that's a top Kendrick song right there. I mean, he talks about living hundreds of lives, but he really talks about 3, all being musicians and the different mistakes he made and how now he actually wants to do it the right way and bring harmony to the world. Now, when I was in Gateway as well, it explained that, you know, all of us are like a mirror that's broken, forever fragmented, but all a living piece of the mirror. We're all the same thing that's been split and will forever stay split. So weird way to think about it, but think of like one big being that just split into a ton of small ones. That was kind of how it explained it. I didn't really think too deep into this song. I just thought it was like a really beautiful artistic story. I mean, he frames himself as the devil, like, you know, changing up and becoming good. It's a gnarly song. But he talks to God and it says, you know, every individual is a version of you. And I was like, oh, whoa, like that's like what I heard in Gateway. Tripped me out a little bit. I mean, if you think about it, we're just like containers for a soul. The Bible, they call bodies vessels, I think, for a reason. Now, something to add on top of that is Bob Lazar. He worked at Area 51 like 40 years ago, leaked all this information on UFOs, and just recently most of it proved to be accurate. He said a lot of things that we just recently heard about from that congressional hearing. Now, one thing he said that is unverified, you know, there's no factual basis behind this, nobody's verified it, but he has a history of being right. He said aliens look at us as containers, and that scares a lot of people for some reason, but it's just containers for us, you know, like a vessel, a body. You know, you're not your body, you're what makes you, I guess. Some people call that your brain. I don't think personality comes from the brain. But anyways, I love you guys.
Good vibes. Look at this scary video. Paranormal activity in the sky. This one looks scripted. Oh, looks like it is meant to look like the angel with the rings and many eyes from the book of Ezekiel. But it looks kind of very fake. You see? In other places, there is this. What looks like? I don't know what it looks like. Dracula. Hey, Dracula. What is this thing, my friends? Birds doing some weird formation. Yo, this is crazy. Or grass. You see, we have seen in another video here trees moving in the sky. So like grass decided to, what? And it looks like it is falling. Bats or birds. Bat, the Batman. Oh, why the Dracula thing? Why did they just go? It's crazy stuff. And in other places, there's this aeroplane that draws in the sky. I don't know what it is usually doing because you also see it from this side of the world. But now this one looks extremely weird. It does not draw like this. It does not leave trace behind. Weird stuff. Look at Ellora caves in Aurangabad. Yo, this is crazy stuff. Yeah, this is crazy. First, it is more crazy thinking that it was not built by modern man. Modern man is also fascinated by it. So cavemen build this stuff. Crazy stuff, my friends. I can't believe the work you must have done.
Interestingly, if you show women, I think this is true for women, but not for men, as far as I know. If you show women a map of their local area and ask them to say which streets they would not want to walk down alone late at night, and they highlight those streets, they map on perfectly to actual rates of crime. And these women know nothing about this. They're not familiar with like local police statistics or whatever. It's just vibes. They just feel unsafe in these areas. Those vibes are actually really accurate, surprisingly so. And I guess because, it's this evolved thing that, like, to put it really bluntly, rape is a very bad outcome for women evolutionarily, right? It's something you really want to avoid. And so we have these inbuilt systems.
Okay, so for context, this is what you're going to see in the next video. This is the view off my balcony. That is South Jersey. that is Jersey City. Over here is New York City. There is nothing in this area. There's no stadiums, no cities, no bridges, nothing. Oh, well, no. Well.
So I found another New York radio video that I sped up. And again, you can hear words coming out of the radio. So first I'm going to play the original video and then the sped up version. Now here's the sped up version that you can hear the words.
She's actually my best friend, and we've been through a lot the last couple of years now.
Listen to it again.
She's actually my best friend, and we've been through a lot the last couple of years and everything.
And somebody said that it sounded like dating advice coming through the radio. So, like, on the last video, somebody was like, this sounds like dating advice when I, like, piece it together. Why are we hearing dating advice coming through the radios? I mean, maybe it's about that we need to love each other. What is everybody's thoughts? Leave them.
And everything, but she's just constant support and still together and everything for a long time. So you're not only in love with her, but she's your best.
Three flying objects over Rockefeller Center at Christmas last year. This is crazy stuff. Three flying objects. What would those be?
Sorry, guys, I think you're all wrong. It is not the government behind the drones. It's Samsung. They're finally finding a good way to show us that Samsung cameras are better than iPhones. A crazy marketing strategy, but my God, effective.
A perpetual twilight is beneath us. So we have the sun above our head, which is 32 nautical miles in diameter. It spirals in and spirals out, bringing the seasons. Okay, the land beneath us has the black sun, which is stationary, and it's 800 nautical miles in diameter, and it's fixed because the astral jet has to come shooting out through that hole, hit the parabolic mirror, and shower down on us. Before, there used to be trees that light would go shooting through, and that was like the living, breathing astral web that spread out across the earth. And now that's all been chopped down, and we're living in a mining colony. Everybody is working for worthless paper backed by their own stupidity, and now their god is time. Their time is money. You will get to school on time, pay your bills on time, everything will be done in time.